And a lot of people have said, well, when are they going to land their next big running back? And I say, patience, Padawan, patience, right? Because you already have three really good running backs. One is a five-star guy that's just a sophomore. So you already have a very stacked running back room. My question throwing out to the crowd is, we can say so much about when's Clemson going to get the next biggest running back, but is the stacked Clemson running back room hurting recruiting right now? A lot of players come out and say, nowadays, oh, I want to play right now. I want to play immediately. I want to get on the field and I want to start. I want to get a ton of touches. I don't care if I'm 18 years old. I want out there. I want the ball. Give me, right? And, more power to them. I'm not saying that's a wrong way of looking at it. But a lot of the day and age is, hey, I don't have a lot of time, especially in the running back position, because they get beat up pretty easily. They get the ball, they're getting slammed down to the ground a lot more than a wide receiver, say, is. But so the running back is on borrowed time as far as their body is concerned. So they want to get out there while they're young, prove what they can do, move on to the NFL quickly. But my question is, we like to brag about Kobe Pace and Phil Maffa and Will Shipley.
Something went wrong. Please try again.
Siri likes to, when I say Shipley, she likes to think I say Siri, but we like to brag on Kobe Pace, Phil Maffa, and Will Shipley. But that also can hurt the running back room or hurt the recruiting, I will say, not the running back room, but that could potentially hurt the recruiting because, you get guys out there, let's say 50% of the guys out there say, hey, I want to play now. Well, it's kind of hard, especially if you're going to be honest with them. It's kind of hard to say you got a good chance at that. So am I looking too deep into it? Or what do you think, Houston?
I mean, you can make the case in 2018, you had a five-star running back in Tavian Feaster. You had a blossoming stud in Travis Etienne. And then you had a solid back in Adam Choice that you had three solid options, but they chose to take another running back, and they got Lynn J. Dixon. He didn't end up working out in the end, but he gave you solid production in 18 and 19, in 20 even. But that didn't deter him from coming. I just think that people have this idea that it needs to be five-star all the time. That's not always the case. And a lot of times that's not how Clemson develops their running backs. A lot of the best running backs in Clemson's history aren't the most highly rated backs. Case in point, Travis Etienne. Case in point, even Kobe Pace. He was the kind of the all right back that came in that 2020 class. And now he's a solid every down back, whereas DeMarcus Bowman has gone on to other places. So you look, it's just like, be patient. There's names that are out there that Clemson is talking to right now that haven't offered. There's names that we don't know about that Clemson's going to offer. So it's just a matter of time. We might find out by the end of the summer if there's going to be somebody committed or other offers, or it may take into the season. The main thing is they're going to have time this season to find somebody. It's not going to be, or at least presumably, as long as all hell doesn't break loose, it's going to be a lot less stringent to be able to find 8 to 10 guys this year. We got more than 12 recruits. That's the other thing. Clemson's got more than 12 recruits. So if you've got 18, 19, 20 guys already, and you're just looking to fill needs to get to that 22, 23 spot, and one of them happens to be a running back, you're in a lot better position with that than you are last year, where you're scrambling to put together the rest of your class.
Now, Tiggs gets in and says, keep in mind, they're all just one injury away from playing time, which is true, but it's hard. You don't really know if that's ever going to happen. And you really don't want to wish negative on anybody or injury on anybody. So, while it's a reality of the game, you really don't know. That's a toss-up. That's a what-if situation. A lot of guys want to know right now, and they want to be able to play right now. And Jared gets in over on Facebook and says, hard to become a starter as a freshman with running backs like Clemson has. Kids don't want to wait and develop. Look at Bowman. Now, Bowman left Clemson, went to Florida, left Florida, and now is going to, I think, Central Florida. So do you agree with that?
Well, the case in point of what I just said, Bowman didn't want to develop and left. Pace did, and look at him. He's gonna get his yaks every game. He may not be the starter, but he's gonna get some yaks.
So you've got Clemson Carson talks about Pace. He says, I'm a big fan of Pace. He was kind of overshadowed by Shipley, but he still was very good in his own right. Don't forget, he was a 3-star coming out of high school.
Exactly.
Timothy Selecki says Wayne Gallman was a linebacker turned running back.
That's another one.
David says, yes, running backs room is in good shape right now, but as we've seen, injuries and transfer can hit quickly.
Here's another thing that people don't realize, and I would love to see this happen, by the way. I wouldn't love to see it happen. I'd just be interested to see if it ever did. There is a star player on Clemson's team that did once play running back in high school and was very good at playing running back. Do you know who that was? Morgan?
No.
Trenton Simpson, who was a running back from Mallard Creek High School. And
wow, I did not realize that.
And he dogged some teams. They dogged Dutch Fork. They dogged Gaffney. He was hard to bring down. Not saying I want that to happen. I quite like him as a linebacker. But if push comes to shove, or at the very least, if it's 3rd and 1 or 1st and goal, you want to hand the ball to him and let him take a dive over, I'm okay with that. Or give the ball to Brzee.
Charlie on YouTube says, oh, yeah, all are very good. Cody also says, excited about Will Shipley for sure. But, man, Phil Maffa looks like a grown man, agile to boot. I agree. Jared gets in, says, 3-headed monster at running back in Death Valley. All 3 could play anywhere. That's true, too. I think Clemson has a good situation in their running back room for many years to come, and I really don't think there's need to panic. To be honest with you, let's just be completely clear. Clemson's recruiting, if you look back hindsight, Clemson's recruiting is not this year and last year is not, oh, we better get somebody to replace Will Shipley and Phil Maffa. It's not that. It's not panic mode, need to replace them. Their philosophy right now, or at least I feel like their approach is, let's shoot for the stars. Let's take our shot. Let's go for the big ones. If we don't get them, we don't get them. We have a 3-headed monster that technically Pace could take a super senior year because of COVID still. So they have a lot of running back. They have a 3-headed monster that could last beyond 2024. So, right at they could last to 2024. Sorry. So, 2024 could still be a 3-headed monster. Now, if Pace doesn't stay, then that could be they would still have Shipley and Maffa, right? So, I think 2024 is the year where you definitely want to try to get one of an elite freshman to learn that is willing to learn under Shipley and Maffa, and maybe even Pace at the same time. But still, because of the bundle up that you have, and they didn't really originally want this. They tried to redshirt Maffa, but because of injuries, they couldn't. But I think, like I said, definitely not panic time at all. Is it hurting recruiting? Maybe for some players. Yeah, maybe for some players. But for the most part, I think Clemson's mindset is it's not panic mode. We're going to go out and get the best player out there. We're going to offer the best players out there. But we're going to wait on a guy who really wants to be here. And it just so happened last year that it was Keith Adams Jr. from Utah. He wanted to really be there. Now, he's a legacy guy, but he deserves a shot too. He really wanted to be there, so he's there. Hey, guess what? People in the chat said Dominique Thomas. He's a walk-on right now. He has a big opportunity. He's a sophomore right now. He has a huge opportunity to earn a scholarship. He wants to be there. He's done everything in his power to get on the team. He's working his butt off in the offseason to get on the team. So you're looking at that and you're saying, hey, panic mode. No, they actually have a really decent roster right now that's going to last them more than likely through at least two 2024. So, definitely something that you want to continue to rebuild and reload, right? You want to continue to keep recruiting those guys, but there's no panic mode. Take as many guys as you can because you're running out of time. It's nothing like that. Jared Clark gets in and says all three are power backs between the tackles. Not a lot of finesse, just Raymond Priester style backs. I don't know. I mean, are we talking about these three guys? Because Will Shipley is dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I wouldn't call them necessarily Raymond Priester. I get what he's trying to say. Like, they're not dancing in the backfield and doing all this. They're getting upfield. But I would also say they've got a little bit more than just dragging people behind them. They've got some shake to them.